From one courtroom to another, this time in Limpopo, where the Modimolle Magistrate's Court has heard that President Cyril Ramaphosa was aware of over $500,000 stored in his Phala Phala farm. The cash was kept there for 3 months before being stolen. Now, yesterday, 3 accused of stealing the money appeared in court on charges of theft, money laundering and conspiracy. They have pleaded not guilty. Zoleka Qodashe joins us live from Limpopo. The stark revelations that we were hearing yesterday as it was all laid bare. What are you anticipating to hear this morning?
Good morning, Arabile, and good morning to our viewers. Well, the court yesterday heard those allegations by a state witness. Of course, there is an order of the court that all the witnesses that will be brought by the state shall not have their identities revealed. Now, that's 22 witnesses who will be brought by the state, as well as 5 that will be brought by the defense. Of course, the state will have to convince the court that the accused in the matter, that's Emmanuel David, who is alleged to be the mastermind behind this grand theft on the President's Phala Phala farm in 2020, as well as Froliana Joseph, who was a temporary housekeeper at the time, and her brother Qodashe Joseph are guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Of course, that is what they will have to prove to the court. But I think what was interesting from the hearings, Arabile, is that the president was aware of this money, according to the state witness. He alleges that on the 25th of December 2019, Sudanese businessman Hassim Mustafa came to the farm alleging to want, or rather saying that he wants to buy 20 buffalo from the farm. That's 17 cows as well as 3 bulls. Of course, we understand, Arabile, is that he did not make off with any of the products that he had intended to buy. Instead, he left $580,000 in the possession of this acting lodge manager at the time. The lodge manager then spoke to the president saying that this is what had happened and that he was going to keep that money in the safe. Of course, we know from the evidence in chief that was given before the court yesterday is that this money was still on the premises in February until on the 10th of February 2020, it went missing. Of course, Arabile, there are strict regulations and laws that govern how money, particularly foreign currency, to the tune of almost 8 million rand when it's been converted, is to be kept. So we understand that those regulations were not, it's common cause that those regulations were not followed if the money was to be stolen 3 months later without the Reserve Bank as well being notified of such a purchase. Of course, the Reserve Bank then came out and said that the purchase was not perfected. Of course, the people that are before the Modimolle Regional Court are facing charges of theft for the alleged stealing of that foreign currency. It's alleged that they worked together when they made off allegedly with that 580,000 rand or US dollars, Arabile. I think also what's important to note is that the court will not be proceeding today. It will reconvene or resume tomorrow for a continuation of that trial, after which it will adjourn again until it reconvenes or resumes its hearings on the 30th of September, Arabile.